Hi guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Maybe you've heard me from my channel, Comic Book University. Oh man, so what's going on, my peeps? Comic Book University alumni. We checking out some good stuff up in here. Gonna be doing the Dawn of X stuff. Let me get my stuff ready over here. I can't actually see my stuff live on Facebook until, oh, hey, This Week in Comics is actually making some what do you call it? Some notice. Shoot, that's actually a good thing. I'm going to explain all that stuff in a hot minute. Let me know that's not actually what I wanted to do. That's not even close to what I wanted to do. I don't know why you're doing this. I did not ask for you to do this. This is going to be frustrating. I apologize. So let's go with pause you and share you. Let's at least put this out on Twitter. So you guys mind doing that with me? Let's do hashtag X-Men, hashtag New Comic Book Day, hashtag comics, hashtag comic books. I think that's just going to be enough. Boom! Tweet that bad boy out. What's up? How you doing? And yeah. Okay, so we ready now. So let's get started. Sorry for all that. On the books, we've got Fallen Angels, issue number 6. New Mutants, issue number 6. X-Force, issue number 6. And we've got X-Men, issue number 5. Come on, man, catch up, all right? X-Men. What the frick, man? I feel like I'm behind everything now. It's just not even cool, bruh. It's not even cool. So, we, yeah. We're going to start off on this stuff here. We've got Fallen Angels, issue number 6. Okay, by the way, guys, later on, make sure you check out my podcast this coming Saturday, 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, because I've got a pretty huge announcement for the channel. It's not going to bode well. Anyway, let's get started with Brian Hill is the writer for Fallen Angels. Simon Kudransky on art, Frank D'Armata on colors, VC's Joe Sabino on letters, Tom Mueller doing the design. Ashley Witter does the cover art. Jungwen Yoon does the variant cover. And for all these books, Head of X is Jonathan Hickman. This issue is called The Conclusion. It's called The Conclusion because this is the final issue. This was only meant to be 6 issues. Brian Edward Hill, he announced that. He's like, I'm only going to be doing the first 6 issues of this. After this, and I know I said I wouldn't translate this stuff anymore, but like this one was just an easy one, like Hellions. Next, Hellions. So this book is ending. This is the final issue of Fallen Angels, and then what's going to take the place of this book in the Dawn of X world is Hellions issue number 1. So awesome. Looking forward to it. Hill did a freaking fantastic job of wrapping this up. I don't know if I ever said this before, but I'm going to say this now. There are some people who I know didn't really like this story, even though they love the art, they don't like the story. Consider this. Imagine if instead of Kudransky, I know, capital punishment sin right there, but imagine if instead of Kudransky, we actually had a manga artist on this. Because in this issue, more than any of the other issues, I was reading this and I'm looking at the art inside and I'm like, you know what? You look at some of the ways that they show the art, the panel displays and whatnot. I think that Mr. Hill undeniably wrote down these things like, hey, try to make this like manga, try to make it like this. And Kudransky has the ability to make his art look a lot like manga, even though it didn't actually come out exactly like manga. And I mean, make no mistake, some of this was just pure comic book, modern day, whatever. But some of the art, very freaking manga-ish, even if he doesn't have the exact style down. From this page on, I was practically crying reading this entire comic book, man. This was a genuinely beautiful comic book. Like from the middle of this comic book on, and like when I saw this, I know there's gonna be a bunch of people gonna look at this. Oh, now Psylocke can fly. I think Psylocke can fly if she pushes the hell out of herself. You know what I'm saying? And she does have a form of telekinesis by making her blades manifest. So yes, why wouldn't she be able to make the air underneath her, go up? But if like this is the only time I've ever seen her do something like this, and again, it's Kodransky, like this is just gorgeous. And why she was flying, wow. And it wasn't just like one panel where she just flew up and it's like, oh, she flew. No, they made a big deal of her figuring out, no, I need to do this. And if I try, I can fly, aside from the peeing on people's thing, it almost looked like that, that song, I believe I can fly. Yeah, that. Um, y'all can just go with that if you need to. Anyway, and she is a butterfly. All of this was about like, what's the main goal of going through the whole eating things as a caterpillar, going through the metamorphosis and the chrysalis form and the cocoon and then emerging? It's to fly like a butterfly. And they only live for like 2 weeks or so, but they can fly, man. Worth it. Worth it. So yeah, that was like the lead up and everything was beautiful. Everything else in here, there's a spoiler review. So she goes up against Apoth, and she winds up having to kill him. Now he's not supposed to be able to die. He's supposed to be able to reform anywhere else that he wants, and just boom, like that's what happens. Um, has she been able to fly before? Awesome. Then this isn't that big of a deal. I don't actually remember that. Um, what do you call it? So anyway, I this was interesting. She actually dressed up as a samurai. Not many samurai use shields. In fact, I don't remember any pictures offhand of samurai using shield. That's more of a medieval knight thing, which is interesting since that's what Betsy Braddock is doing over in the Excalibur book. She's got a shield and her sword, and now she's got the sword of might. But anyway, this was of particular interest that she did this. I liked this. I thought this was great. In fact, it looks more like a Hun shield than anything else. But like it's iron. Can you imagine having to hoist around a freaking iron shield? But it's psychic, so who cares? Anyway, yeah, this was beautiful, man. Like she goes up against this thing, and it's like laughing at her at first, like what form should I take? The form of your mother, the form of your father, the form of your lover, the form of your friend, the form of blah, 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 blah. How about the form of your daughter? Mind you, Apoth considers himself her daughter because she not gave him life, but in his opinion gave her life because he allowed her to live instead of killing it like she was ordered to. She had mercy, and look at what her mercy. No good deed goes unpunished. So anyway, takes the form of her daughter, who she lost. She doesn't know where her daughter is. She's got to try and find this kid now. But after it's destroyed, essentially, it's contained inside that device, that headset. This figure comes down and explains that life is binary, and since he created himself as a god but as a devil god, he also had to create by nature his antithesis, and I'm that. And she's like, you could have stopped him at any time. And at first I didn't really like this because it's like, how do you know he could have stopped him? How do you know what he could have done? You know what I'm saying? If one was created by the other, you can't tell me that one is as strong as the other. You can't tell me that. If one thing creates something else, you can't tell me that because like we don't know that for sure. However, as I say that, I'm reminded that this is AI, and we do assume to ourselves that if we create AI, it could very well get the ability to become more powerful than us. So you know what? Shut up, Bill. What the hell do you know? Anyway, it creates this thing. So while she's saying, you could have stopped him anytime, he says, I did. I sent you. Oh man, you want to get me teared up. So there's a really weird relationship thing here with her and X-23 in this. This is a much better rendering of X-23 than what I saw in the X-Men book, just saying. But yeah, this took the character much, much more seriously. And she's like, listen, you need to go off on your own because I can't teach you to be better. I can only teach you to be me. Oh my God, there is no greater lesson there. In the martial arts, if you can actually find yourself a good sensei, and in the world of, BJJ and MMA, good luck finding a good, positive, traditional martial art teacher. But man, I know that, like, when it's said to you something along the lines of, a master doesn't teach his student everything he knows. On the outskirts of that, if you're an outsider looking in, you might think to yourself, "Oh, well, that means that martial arts will continually degrade because this guy, has this much but only teaches this much. This guy has this much, only teaches you this much." No, 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 no. That is the way it works. But the first guy, has this, teaches you that. You're over here now. You have this, but you're still learning. You're learning your own things because the things that he didn't teach you are the things that are stylized specifically for himself. In the martial arts, I'm 6'5". In the martial arts, I learned how to kick someone, my height in the head. But why do I need to do that? How many people are going to meet that are my height, and why the hell would I want to kick them in the head? Unless they're laying on the ground. I mean, maybe, but like it's asinine. What's the point of me knowing that? That's not how I choose to, engage. So I learn other things and I work out other things even on my own, built for my body type. I can do a strong style, but I can also do a fast style, and I try to do a combination of each. There are people who are faster than me. There are people who are stronger than me. There are not many people who can do both better than me because that's who I am. So that's the stuff that I taught myself or learned elsewhere that I can't teach to someone because I can't teach someone height or strength or size or body type, you know what I'm saying? Or naturalized reflexes. I can't teach those things. So likewise in here, it's the idea of a sensei. She had her time with her, and then she says, "You can go off on your own now." And mind you, that's kind of what caterpillars and butterflies are. Hey, I can give birth to you, but I can't make you a butterfly. You got to do that on your own. And I mean, that's like, when you're in that cocoon, you're alone. You can only have but so much guidance. So I loved the way that Hill did this. Like, dude, I know that Hill is a slow burn. And, a lot of us will say, because I'll say often about many, many writers, dude, this is a 6-issue book that could have been a 4-issue book. Yes, this could have been a 4-issue book too, but it would not have had the effect it did because that's not the way that Hill tells his stories. Could he have told this in a shorter story? Yeah, he probably could have. Should he have? Honestly, only he can answer that. You know what I'm saying? But this was a gorgeous, gorgeous, beautiful book, and I really loved this. I really loved this. What's going to happen next with her? Well, she's going to be in the Hellions book, it looks like. And this part at the end, I can make you butterflies. Man, that is freaking beautiful. Oh, that is freaking beautiful. I'm getting choked up right now. Let's get on to something that was just a lot more. Actually, this was a pretty choke up kind of book, also. Not quite as bad. Not quite as bad as like, oh man, there's some really messed, like genuinely messed up stuff in here. But fortunately, we have people who can erase your minds in this book. So, New Mutants, issue number 6. B to B to B to B to beep boop boo. Ed Brisson's back doing the writing. Flaviano on art. Carlos Lopez on colors. VC's Travis Lanham doing the letters, and Tom Mueller doing the design, with Rod Reis doing the cover art and Adi Gradoff doing the variant cover. This issue is called Not As Hoped. So Beak and Angel are trapped with a whole bunch of people, and Boom Boom comes to their rescue, and she's like, "Hey, here's a little tick 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 tick, boom," and then she gets hit with that cannon that takes away people's powers. Don't. How is it that people can shoot a cannon, a bazooka, that takes away mutants' powers faster than somebody else, Armor, for instance, can yell, "Be careful, that cannon will take away your powers"? I'm just saying, it like there's the. Did they just keep it loaded? That's just a weird thing to me, man. Anyway, so yeah, that pretty much happens in here. She gets her powers taken away. She loses her freaking powers. But they make Boom Boom a straight up badass. Like somebody comes after her, it's like, "Oh, you know your powers. What are you gonna do now?" She's like, "Man, I've been Black Ops since I was 16 or 12." You know what I'm saying? You know what? Here, bow, just knocks her out like Maxwell Smart. Ah, Chief, straight like picks up her shoe. Yeah, what's going on, Chief? Like she just jacks her up. Old people in the comments right now are laughing their ass off at the "Get Smart" comment. I think there was a remake. Maybe there were other people laughing it off too. I think Get Smart had a offshoot. The other guys that was actually better than the movie itself. Wee. Um, the Glob completely flips out on the Seraph twins, whatever you're going to call these two guys, Maxime and Maxwell, whatever the hell their names are. Straight up flips out on these two French people. They're just like, you made them kill each other. You cheated on my wife, and you slept with, and you did all these things. And they killed each other. I was like, dude. He's like, why couldn't you have just? And this is the same exact thing that I said. I'm like, dude, you could have just said, oh, yeah, you guys are on our side now, and then formed your own army. You don't have to make them kill each other. It's like, oh, I don't know. We're kids. Kids shouldn't watch so much TV because when they develop their mutant powers and turn pure white, like more than albino white, like straight up white, and then you start controlling people's minds, you start thinking you got to make them cheat on each other's wives and shooting each other. Nah, man. Friendship. Friendship. Let them watch My Little Pony and Care Bear stare. Right? Anyway, um, so that was funny. Glob's just like he grabs the one guy, puts him in a freaking sleeper hold. See how I take this guy down without murdering him? And the look down here. That's the ultimate look for Glob right there. When he's staring at the dude's gun, it looks like his eyes are bugged. They're always bugged. Excuse me. Oh, and this is really traumatic because Beak is down there. He's like, yeah, that's right. They got what they deserved for coming to my house. Boom, he gets shot. I actually thought that was a headshot at first, but you look at the blood and very clearly it's actually the shoulder he gets shot in. He gets hurt, dude. He gets hurt bad. Angel straight up pukes on the one guy, like, you shot my husband. Like, oh man. Man, this wasn't that fake stuff that they do in the Goonies. She straight up puked on him and set him on fire, practically. Anyway, so here's the scene. Here's the scene where Boom Boom beeps up the girl, and you see the thing on the bottom, the blood. It actually looks like she's pulling out one of her eyes. So the blood was cool before and explained a lot. Here, the blood drawing is bad. Sorry. So it's balanced, right? But it's not great there. Yeah, it's not great at all. It looks like she straight up like pulled out one of the cybernetic eyes or something like that. It's like, no, that's not actually what happened. It's just, psh, and blood splatter. Happens. It happens. Happens. Okay, so boom. This is where it starts to get really wicked. That one main dude at the end, and they actually give the crime family history, I guess you'd say here. Tumlo. So here's the crime syndicate, the Bohem cartel. And this Tumlo dude is the one that was killed. So you can see he's really low on the freaking totem pole there, right? He straight up shoots Beak's mama. Boom! She dies off camera. It's like, oh shoot, what? And like it's vicious because dad is sitting there like he's in a headlock with a gun to his head, with a pistol to his head, talking about, yeah, what's up? Y'all better surrender. I'll do him too. And like this dude is like, I can't believe you killed her. You actually killed her. She's gone. Oh my God, she's gone. Like there's no doubt. There is no, oh, maybe it was a fake shot. Oh no, oh, she's dead. And then this dude winds up getting killed too. I'm like, what? Because they're trying to steal the Tumlo's truck. They're trying to steal his big gigantic monster truck 4x4 4-wheeler thing. They're trying to get all the kids in there and get Beak in there. It's like we got to drive to the hospital because Boom Boom took a freaking Uber or the X-Men equivalent of an Uber to get there. That must have cost you forever. Yeah, but X-Men, like we own our own nation state now. We're rich. I guess it's true. Like, and she was drinking the whole time. What's up with that? So, oh my God. So they got to race to a hospital to get there so that then all of a sudden they could be picked up because, by the X-Men in Krakoa. Anyway, when they get there, Beak goes through the healing process. 4 days later, he's, pretty good at this point. And he's like, what do you call it? Glob and all them go up and they're like, hey, we're really sorry about your parents. What are you talking about, my parents? And he has a moment where he's like, wait, what happened? He's like, no, my parents died years ago in bed. old age. Sad, but it's okay. And these are just robbers that came in, but thankfully I'm the only person who got hurt. Armor knows exactly what happened. Those two little super white twins, the French kids, they went and took his memories and switched it around. There's the big controversy there about you can't go around and start taking people's memories and whatnot. And I actually liked this because they're like, these kids are actually trying to do good. They're trying to do good, positive work. And Armor's just like, okay, listen, don't do this again. Okay, never do it again. That's messed up. Is it so this literally leaves you with the little moral conundrum. Was this a good thing? Was it a bad thing? Right? Either way, it's pretty messed up. Over here, Jerry Allen Guilan. This was the book that I actually saw it in, so this is the book that I'm pointing it out in. We just lost him. Really, really solid comic book artist. There are a lot of books that he's done that you've probably read. The Fantastic Four towards the not currently the original run of the Fantastic Four, like around issue 600 and all that good stuff. That's where he was on. And on top of that, Superman Birthright, which a lot of people like you can isolate directly on there. But he's done a lot of work, and yeah, that's really sad that we lost him. Um, Oh, there's a lot of stuff in here. I can't get to the comments yet. I will get to the comments at the end of this. So X-Force, issue number 6. This is a big time Beast comic book, but I've got news for you. I wasn't happy with it. I wasn't happy with the Beast aspect. Excuse me, everything else in here was actually pretty cool. So Benjamin Percy is the writer, who's also going to be writing the Victor Bogdanovic drawn Wolverine comic book coming out soon. Stefan Segovia on art, Guru FX on colors, VC's Joe Caramagna on letters, Tom Mueller doing the design, Dustin Weaver and Edgar Delgado doing the cover, and Gerardo Sandoval and Andreas Mossa doing the variant cover, Nick Russell on production. And this issue is called Intelligence. Gee, go figure. The one of the smartest X-Men, he winds up jumping on this. So you just got all these characters here. This is the weirdest freaking X-Force team ever. Okay, so you can see up here, you got Wolverine trying to be sneaky. Domino's trying to be sneaky too, and she normally is sneaky, but she's got this bright light, smoky light coming out of her freaking face. You got Miss Marvel, who's dressed in the brightest colors imaginable. I mean, for crying out loud, she might as well have a neon sign. But even if she did have a neon sign, you probably wouldn't see it because your eyes would be focused on freaking Quentin Quire. All right, Kid Omega, having these little, but like, why the hell is Wolverine going in stealth mode over here when he's got this knucklehead with all this bright stuff? Everybody's got bright stuff, but he's actually got like will-o'-the-wisp lights going all the. I'm like, what the hell am I looking at in this comic book? Why are you being stupid right now? Yeah, I was more than a little bit beside myself on this one. Anyway, a bunch of monsters show up and they have to kill them. But they're all plant monsters for the most part, so Wolverine's allowed to go buck wild and crazy on this and just start acing fools. All of this for the most part is cool. The one part in this that I don't like is actually Beast's role. What do I mean by that? Beast is the leader of an X-Force team. I want you to stop and think about that. What has X-Force always been about? It's been about doing what nobody else is willing to do. Oftentimes that means assassination missions. In this particular case, well, you got this rule, no killing of humans, right? Okay, cute. Here's an interesting part. Beast is talking about how covert ops are about doing things that need to be done and nothing good. This was a great line. No daring act ever happens in a committee. Let those words sink in because that was a great line. That happened at the very end of this book. Interesting that it happened at the end of this book when you actually see what happened. But anyway, they're in this one made up, the Veravende people. They got the freaking city down there. It's supposed to be one of those South American cities. Anyhow, they're getting ready to sign the contract to get the drugs, the Krakoan drugs to come in, and they're gonna, we recognize your sovereignty. But these plant monsters show up, and Professor X is there, and they're ready to attack him, right? So Black Tom is the one and only bodyguard that's there. Okay, wait a second, hold on. If anytime there's supposed to be some kind of a diplomatic mission, didn't we just see that both Cyclops and especially Gorgon is supposed to be there? If it's like one of the council, the Silent Council guys, those two are supposed to be there all the time. If Professor X is there all the time, they're supposed to be there. So I'm sorry, what exactly just happened here? Why is Black Tom here? Who's guarding the island, if that's the case? This was literally a placement of convenience. We needed Black Tom to be there because, he's the plant guy and here's these plant organisms coming after them. No, this was unacceptable. This was a terrible switcheroo after you just established a rule and then you immediately break it. Okay, I can see that there will not be consistency in this comic book because that seems pretty basic to me. If you say these guys will always be bodyguarding you and then they're not bodyguarding you, all right, Black Tom is supposed to fix everything. And he's all like, oh, Black Tom do this, Black Tom do that, Black Tom play knick-knack on his pennywhack back, whatever. I don't know how the heck that song goes. But anyway, yeah, I was really disappointed with this. This seemed like, softballs to me. This was easy. And nope, fail. Anyhow, so it turns out that it wasn't Professor X that these plant things were going after or anybody else. It was actually the son of this dude, the president. So they kidnapped him and then made demands and said, I don't want you to make the deal with the mutants anymore. Well, this is a shame. And this is one of the situations where a president of the United States would no longer be the active president if one of his family members was kidnapped or if he himself was kidnapped. You are no longer the president of the United States. There is no vote on that. You're done. You're done. Until we can rescue, if we can rescue, you are no longer the president because you're compromised. You will now be making decisions in your best interest, beyond the shadow of a doubt, as opposed to the greater people's self-interest. You got to do everything that you're doing as president in the best interest of the people. If you're kidnapped or your kids are kidnapped, you're clearly not doing that. Now then, so his son gets kidnapped, but it turns out that his son was actually working with these guys. See, these are some people who, and we're going to wind up seeing these again, and I'm actually kind of cool with this. These are actually regular people who had some kind of a thing on him. They got affected, and then they're now these biological organisms. Humans are already biological organisms. They're the super biological organisms. It's almost like they're the biological equivalent to a sentinel, which is interesting. They actually compare some of the bigger ones that some of these could actually wind up being like a biological version of Nimrod. And Jean has to wind up killing a whole bunch of these things. Alan, thank you for the thank you for the $5 Canadian. Genuinely appreciated, brother. What do you call it? So what happens? They oh, you know what? Here, let me here. I'm gonna do Cannonball. Look, I did a fix for Cannonball with the legs. I gave him because this is how they originally are supposed to take care of him. So I got another one, and I broke Paladin's legs off so that I can give him the same legs. So now I got a Cannonball with legs now. I'm so happy. Anyway, so yeah, there's the dance. So this son was actually a part of this biological experiment thing. So he's like, oh, kidnap me, and then we'll trick my dad into thinking whatever. So the X-Men have to go after these guys, and the Beast actually, and this was actually kind of important because the reason why I wasn't particularly happy with the idea of Beast, Hank McCoy, being in charge of the X-Force team is, listen, with all due respect, Beast is kind of a jackass. Okay? Look, I love the Beast, but I only love Beast when he's played right. And there are two occasions where he's played right. One is where he is hanging out with a lab coat, upside down, with his glasses on, talking, reading Shakespeare or whatever, Faulkner, whatever poetry or whatever that he's going to be reading, and doing science experiments. He's got the beakers and he's upside down with the test tubes, and he's got the Bunsen burner going. He's putting things. I like seeing stuff like that with Beast. I like seeing him inventing things, curing cancer for mutants, and all sorts of crazy things. I love that. The other time I love him is when he's hanging out with Simon Williams, Wonder Man, because then I don't care what they're doing. They're both beating up on people, getting beaten up, whatever. It's fun because these two are genuinely, wholeheartedly best friends. They're besties, BFFs. You know what I'm saying? BFFLs, right? Best friends for life. Like these guys, they're tight, and you can't pliers with adamantium pliers. You can't separate these two. I love them in those two situations. There is another time when I can accept Beast, but accept him, not love this, is when Beast is all alone. He's doing his scientific thing or whatever, and then the X Mansion gets invaded, and he's got to fight. And he shows that he's a cool guy and he could do a lot of fighting, but eventually he's going to be outnumbered, outclassed because he's not a fighter. That's not what he does. He's got a great amount of natural mutant abilities, but he is not that badass who trains to kick butt and take names anymore. That's not who he is anymore. He's the smart guy. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I like to see. The smart guy who happens to be a whole lot tougher than any human could possibly imagine. And he's really good at the flippy things. You know what I'm saying? But I don't like seeing Beast, going out there and trying to kick butt. And that doesn't necessarily happen in here, but it is trying to show that Beast is actually kind of a mean guy. Beast actually goes Dark Beast on the son of the president, Presidente, whatever, because they're not showing Spanish from this guy, like some other version of a language. Anyway, they show that he can actually do experiments on this guy to get the plant thing away from him, which fails, by the way. And then but he's actually torturing this guy to do it. He tortures him so much that his brain actually he winds up going he winds up becoming mentally challenged. I don't know the proper verbiage for that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know the proper verbiage for that, but he winds up becoming mentally challenged now. You know what I'm saying? Practically in a vegetative state. Like he's slobbering, he can barely talk. But the president is happy that he's returned. He's going to sign the deal now anyway, and he owes a debt, of gratitude to the X-Men. That's a big deal that they're going out of their way to show. So yeah, I don't like Beast in this. I don't want to see Beast in charge of the X-Men, or excuse me, in charge of the. He could be in charge of X-Men. I'm actually cool with that. I don't want to see him in charge of X-Force though. I just don't think Beast has the heart for that. So what does Benjamin Percy does? He shows that he does have the heart to do that, but that makes him Dark Beast, and we've already got that character, dead or otherwise. Unless they wind up showing that, oh, guess what? He's actually Dark Beast, or he's got the infused spirit of Dark Beast. When they cloned him and brought him back, they actually brought back the Dark Beast also. Okay, maybe I can accept that, but for now, I'm not a huge fan of this. You know, I love Jean Grey killing a bunch of these things and then yelling at Beast for, good job, Jean. You did what had to be done. And she yells, "Don't you patronize me." I liked that. I like that a lot. But Beast, I see, is the big problem in here. And this thing, it turns out, it looks like it's more powerful than it ever was. So that's the president's son, which is a really weird freaking thing. Anyway, so that happened. Okay, comics expertise. It's Fredo. Beast has thrown the Hippocratic Oath out the window. Yes, that patronizing Gene moment was. Oh, I was just getting to that, and yeah, you're right. You're 100% right. Here, would you mind doing you know what I just got? Here, I'm gonna do this. Okay, I'm gonna do this. I got. Stop it! Stop it! I got Astro Train. So I'm gonna be like, thank you very much for the $5. Okay, I've also got the the Captain America figure here from the thing, but I don't dare presume that any X-Man fan is going to want Captain America in a super chat. So just I'm trying to read the room, Anyway, we got so X-Men number 5. Jonathan Hickman is the writer. R.B. Silva doing the art. Marty Gracia doing the color art. VC's Clayton Cowles doing letters. Tom Mueller doing the design. Lanil Francis Yu and Sunny Ro doing the cover. And there's 2 variant covers, one by Chris Anka, another by Marcos Martin. Production is by Nick Russell. And issue 5, this issue is called Into the Vault. Of course, Stan Lee and Jack Kirby created all of the X-Men, well, the X-Men idea. So yeah, all mutant comes back to them. So this issue is called Into the Vault. You know why it's called Into the Vault? Nah, legit, they go into the vault, man. So Serafina is here, and she's trying to get away from Wolverine, and apparently just these two farmers are able to hold up Wolverine enough. Like he comes in, and it's like this looks like it's going to be a cool moment. But I've mentioned this before. I genuinely do not think that Hickman actually likes Wolverine as a character because he never really plays him in a great way. He never really plays him in a terribly positive way. Uh, Boom. Everybody congratulate Corey. I need another monitor for my channel, and I'm field promoting you, Corey. I'm giving you a field promotion. So no, nothing is shutting me down. Anyway, but I'm going to announce all this stuff on what you call it, in the Saturday podcast at 8:00 p.m. this coming Saturday. So anyway, and actually I can talk to my moderators in the Facebook group. So boom. Anyway, Wolverine is stalked by these two chuckleheads as she's able to get away. Like she's all sorts of weak. She can't do anything. And it's like, are these farmers hanging around just, around the corner from the vault? And this whole this whole thing going on. Because like what the heck? She's able just these two guys, these two chuckleheads, they're just like, oh, should we give her some water? We're just some simple old farmers. And all of a sudden, we're the most powerful people in the world. The two of us can stop Wolverine. And they go out and they start, and Wolverine's just like, paw, 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 boom, and stuff like that. It's like, dude, you're freaking Wolverine. Jump over top of them when they charge after you like they did. Backhand them in the back of the head. The adamantium on your knuckles will cause them to render into unconsciousness, and then chase her dumb butt down. You'll still be able to hear her running away. You're Wolverine. And I think that Jonathan Hickman forgets that or just doesn't care. And he's just looking for moments to be like, oh, here's Wolverine. Draw a really cool picture of Wolverine so they think I actually care about Wolverine, and then moves on. Nothing. Look, I have zero disrespect towards Jonathan Hickman. The man is a genius beyond genius. It's just, I think all of us, when we don't like a character, we don't always give the proper credence to said character. Like it just is what it is. Me, I try to be more fair. If I'm reading a Brian Michael Bendis book, even though I'm usually not a fan of his writing, I'm still going to point out Brian Michael Bendis is the genius behind this work. So, there's that. Anyway, so these guys decide, listen, she got into the vault. So Serafina got into the vault. Who knows what crazy hell is going to happen from this point on. So let's recognize what we've actually got to do in order to fix this bloody situation here. And this is what they decide to do to fix the bloody situation. They assemble a team because that's what X-Men do. So Sync, Darwin, and X-23. They get these three together. Why Darwin? Well, because they have to go into the vault, and nobody's going to be able to adapt to being in the vault better than Darwin. Why Sync? Well, Sync is pretty much a redundancy program. That's actually what's said in here. And it's like, oh, gee, thanks for your vote of confidence. Sorry, but it's true. So hashtag sorry, not sorry. And then X-23 because, well, she heals from anything. And her healing factor is technically better than Wolverine's. One, because she's younger. Two, she doesn't have all that adamantium poisoning on her. It's just from the claws, the 6 claws on her, the 4 in her hands and the 2 in her feet. So, yeah, she heals just a lot faster than Wolverine, probably close to twice as fast, So what do you call it? They go to make a mention. It's like, we were going to send, it's like, we were going to send Wolverine, but we decided to send X-23 because Wolverine's actually got something else to do. And she's like, I am Wolverine. Shut up, stupid girl. No, you're not. Okay. I loves me some X-23, but enough of the I'm Wolverine crap. Please let this be the last, like, make this be that silly little joke that you wanted to tell and never revisit this again. Excuse me, later on, she even winds up getting kind of punked out in this, by herself because they're like, yeah, so The last time that the door was closed on the vault and the next time it was open, it was like 10,000 years in between the time period. And X-23 goes up to Logan. She's like, yeah, so like you're Wolverine. They should send Wolverine. They should send you. And it's like, yeah, they actually already are sending Wolverine. You. So please let this stop. From this point, the joke's over. It's been done. Logan is Wolverine. Laura is X-23. Okay, you want to make a different name for fine, but I don't see what's wrong with X-23. I honestly don't. So here's that. Um, Fierce Deity believes she deserves to be called Wolverine. I think that she should have been given her own name, personally, or all new Wolverine, but not just Wolverine. Like I don't need to care. It's like, to me, it's like the idea of She-Hulk being called the Hulk in the Avengers comic book. No, I don't think we need that. I don't want the confusion. Well, that's Hulk, but the big green guy, that's the immortal Hulk. No, that's Hulk. Like everybody can be a Hulk, but the Hulk is the Hulk. Like I don't see the purpose in making her Hulk also. No, she's She-Hulk. What's the problem with that? I don't see the problem with that. So anyway, these guys go on. There's some silly conversation about how he doesn't need a pillow. Meanwhile, Sink is a two pillow kind of person. My peeps, I personally sleep without a pillow, and I highly recommend it. You don't need a pillow if you got your hand. You can just go to sleep like that. Use your arm, whatever you got to use. But yeah, pillows bad for the neck. Sleeping like that, especially if you're one of those two pillow people, sleeping like this. I wonder where sleep apnea comes from. Anyway, so they get into the psychology of everybody here, and this was actually good. I know there's been a couple people talking about I don't read the white pages anymore in this stuff. No, this would actually be a pretty good one because I genuinely enjoyed this. They actually get into really good detail about Sync and his abilities. So if you're interested in Sync in any way, shape, or form, which you should be, I would definitely consider reading the medical report. Patient file number 14, post-resurrection analysis of Sync. Because a lot of people wonder, hey, what if one of the 5 who resurrect people dies? Sync can replace anybody's abilities, right? That was good. That was genius. I like that. I like what they did there. I genuinely do. So anyway, there's a big distraction so they can get the people inside, and they get the 3 people inside. And the idea is that, listen, if you die inside of there, I don't know what we can do because Cerebro can't see inside. So you're screwed. If you die inside there, you're screwed. And I think that what they're expecting is that everybody is going to die except for X-23, possibly Sync, possibly. But, X-23, regardless, should not lose her power, so she should not lose her healing, which means she should not freaking die. So anyway, I see this as literally just, no, we're good. Sounds like oppression, Professor. Pillows are soft. It's not oppression. maybe a pillow impression. Impression like your head. Plus, pillows give bedhead. Pillows give bedhead. The pillow head, the hair, you get the whole like that. Yeah. I'm just saying, man. Like avoid bedhead. Avoid pillows. But you do whatever you want. I'm just saying. So the beginning is the end, and I always like when they did this because you get to see this stuff at the end, which was also the beginning, just in its own little way. Cyclops regretting sending these guys in. So if they go inside of the vault, since Cerebro can't see inside, they don't want to recreate one of the X-Men. So if in 10,000 years they wind up coming out, be like, oh look, now there's 2 of them. Saying this is not a good thing. So you wind up having a Star Trek Next Generation crisis with Riker. So they're like, we can't resurrect you until you actually come out, until we have confirmation of your death. So we need, like in time is all met. It's like, what are we going to do? Wait a week and be like, oh, that was about, 1,000 years. If they ain't out by now, no, they're not going to do. They're just not going to do that. So no more you until this is done. That puts a little bit of a thing on here. So anyway, as I'm waiting for you guys to go ahead and put your comments that you want to discuss with me about these Dawn of X books. I'm going to just talk a little bit about the whole death situation with the X-Men. I'm actually cool with what they've been doing because, mind you, the idea that death is meaningless, yes, death technically is meaningless. I mean, like there are tricks that you can make it so that death isn't meaningless. Like, oh, I just killed all the five, or I just killed one of the five. Oh, well, there's sync. So look, death can still be meaningless. Oh, well, I killed two of the five. Now what? Um, I guess you could try to replace both. I don't know. How would you do this exactly? Like there's a lot of different ways that they could try to fix this. So I think that what they are trying to do is to beat into us that death is essentially meaningless for the X-Men now, so that they can tell different kinds of stories. Look, if the stories that they tell are always, oh, your favorite hero might die, that gets annoying, especially since death in comic books is meaningless anyway. When you guys see my review of Thor, I don't really go into it too much, I don't think. Um, but one of the things I did kind of want to get into is that, with all due respect to one of the best writers out there today, Donny Cates, he has really worn his heart on his sleeve and played all of his cards openly. Like he's playing poker and he doesn't have his hand up here like this, close to his chest. It's laying out on the table for everybody to see. Talk about, look at what an awesome poker player I am. Here, I'm going to use this card. This is my hand. What you going to do? What you going to do? And almost everything is, full house, or like, he's got, four of a kind. Like this dude's kicking butt, right? But at the same time, he's shown us his bag of tricks already. We know that he likes to kill things. He likes to kill dogs, and a whole bunch of other things and whatnot. And at the end of the day, we know that they're just going to come back. Death of the Inhumans. A whole bunch of the Inhumans died. Oh my God, it was terrible the way these guys died. Oh wait, they're back. Almost all of them are back. What was the Death of the Inhumans thing? He says on my podcast, my interview with him the one time, oh, it's not called Death of the Humans, for fun and fancy. Yeah, but no, it kind of was, because they didn't all die. In fact, very few of them actually died. So what was that all about? On top of that, the idea of him constantly he's not playing with Thanos yet, but just wait. You know what I'm saying? But he created a new version of the Ghost Rider, which is awesome, but he's been doing a lot of work with Galactus. Almost every time he does a comic book, you're pretty much guaranteed that Galactus is going to wind up showing up. And look what happened. He literally fell on top of Asgard. Gee, that was convenient, you know? So I loves me some Donny Cates, but sometimes you got to mix things up. Plus, Donny Cates, he used to seem really edgy because he would kill something, usually a dog, but he would kill something. Oh, this is your favorite character? I'm going to kill him. It's like, no, we were scared. Nowadays, it's like, oh, Donny Cates is taking over. Donny Cates could say, I want to write a Lockjaw comic book. He could say, I want to write a Baby Landshark comic book. And for the most part, I don't think that he's going to hurt the character. You know what I'm saying? Not really, because at the end of the day, we know that the characters are going to come back. So maybe in some regards, they're literally just doing this for the sake of saying, hey, man, yeah, death is meaningless for the X-Men. Now let's get to some good storytelling. That could actually wind up working really, really well for them. And I genuinely, from my heart, hope that it does. Because always holding to the same tropes of your favorite character could die. I'm sorry, is it Uncle Ben? You know what I'm saying? Like who? Who's gonna die and stay dead? Like who? Who? The New Day from WWE. Who's gonna stay dead? Nobody. So what's the big deal? Oh, I killed Bucky. Okay, he'll be back. We all know that, you know. So yeah, I don't know. It is what it is. Did I just get a text? That was kind of weird. Anyway, so let's see what I'm. This is true. Oop, let me just get up here. This is true on Kate, right? Thank you very much. Let's see. Is it smart of the D. McRoy? What's up? Is it smart of the X-Men to keep their resurrection machine a secret? Yes, I think that it is very smart of them to keep their resurrection machine a secret. Think about this. Think about the way that we look at Lex Luthor, or in general, the Justice League. Because I think for the most part, everybody knows that Lex Luthor is evil. What do you call it? It was like on the face of things, he's a genuinely evil people. And even though he was elected president, it's one of those situations. It's honestly, it's almost like a Simpsons episode where they predicted something in the future. You know what I'm saying? Oh, look, Donald Trump got elected. Doesn't everybody know that he's a very stupid and very malicious, self-serving, entrepreneuring son of a gun who has bankrupted 6 businesses before, do we honestly think that he's got anything positive to add to this country? No. Well, why are we electing him? Oh, because he's not Hillary Clinton. Okay, cool. Cool. I mean, honestly, I don't see a difference between them, either of them, except Trump is dumb enough to say the quiet parts out loud. So it sheds some light on the what do you call it? The secrecy of all the corruption in the freaking White House and in the government as a whole. He shines a light on that, and not because he's cleaning, he's draining the swamp. Oh no, this guy's the swamp monster, pumping sewage directly into everything, making it worse. But that's what he does. But that's what Hillary would have done. That's what Biden wants to do. That's what all these guys want. Biden just had something else come out today. Oh, guess what? Turns out that I also gave a whole bunch of property to a big contributor, donator, and I made sure that the property made a whole lot of money through certain tax reliefs and bringing contracts over there so people can move over there and giving you licenses and whatnot. Dude, you are a genuinely corrupt soul. Genuinely in your heart, you're a corrupt son of a gun. What the heck are you doing, son? Anyway, and that's pretty much exactly what we're seeing here. You know what I'm saying? We're seeing a light shown on the idea that, hey, man, death is meaningless. Who cares? Who cares? Nobody cares. All right? Get that out of the way. You look at the Justice League. We've got all this awesome tech. We've got the ability to have teleport tubes and whatnot that can transport us from the Hall of Justice up to the Justice League Watchtower. You know what I'm saying? That satellite. So we could teleport into space. We could teleport on the moon. We could teleport wherever we want to do because we've got all this awesome tech. Hey, want to make humans' lives easier? Yeah, screw you. Take the elevator. You know, like if the rest of the planet found out that the Justice League has this teleportation tech, that's not the same as them finding out that Luther has the teleportation tech. With Luther, they're like, oh, he's got teleportation tech. You know, I knew he had teleportation tech. Of course, he's got teleportation tech, and he's not going to sell us. He's not going to make the stuff available. And if he does, he's going to make it, $1 million for us to use it once. You know what I'm saying? But wait, the Justice League? I thought the Justice League was the good guys. So yeah, I think it's very important that they keep it on the hush hush. Like, you give us these stupid pills that let us live an extra 5 years. Meanwhile, you guys are essentially immortal. Come on, man, take your stupid pills. I don't want your stupid pills. You know what I'm saying? So yes, I think it's very, very important that they keep that close to the chest. Um, my man, feel the burn, guys. Feel the burn. Um, let's see. He's the monster in the Black Lagoon. I like the movie The Creature in the Black Lagoon. It's just a big ugly guy who's super strong, but he can still be taken down by a shotgun. That's a cool monster to me. Boom. Does Jean's behavior in X-Force strike you as just out of character as Dr. McCoy's? You know what? They really don't explore her character enough in this. What are you suggesting that maybe it's actually Madeline Pryor? Because that could be interesting. But no, I don't really see her as necessarily out of character as I do seeing it as just it's not really being explored very well. McCoy, I see him as straight up out of character. I see Jean more like I see Wolverine in a Hickman book. Yeah, he's there. Yeah, he looks cool, but for the most part, that's the artist. You know what I'm saying? Hickman's just going to be like, oh yeah, Wolverine gets into fight with two regular guys and it takes him forever because he's the top assassin for the. But he's whatever. He's neutered basically. I don't want to see a neutered Wolverine. I want to see a Wolverine who's going to straight up cut a fool. You know what I'm saying? Multiple times. And I ain't talking about no freaking bread knife or a paper cut. I want to see him eviscerate people. Like, make my books rated teen plus. Wow. So, what about Thunderbird? Okay, fantastic point right there. No, again, seriously, think about that. Think about this for a second. Do you actually want Thunderbird to come back? Because I don't. I feel like Thunderbird is the perfect character that the few times he has come back, he's redeemed himself, Chaos War, more than anything else. I feel let him stay dead. Straight up, let him stay dead because we don't need him coming back. What's he going to do? What's new that he's going to bring to the table? Let him stay dead. Let him stay out of everybody's hearts and minds. For a second, let him stay off of the cutting room table because I just really don't want to see that. Um, let's see. Uh, okay, interesting point, Deputy Sheriff Corey. Death of Superman opens a can of worms on death in our hobby tent. No one can close it again. Possibly. No firm has the commercial bravery anymore to permanently kill a character besides Marvel, Uncle Ben, and Thomas and Martha Wayne. For the most part, yeah, agreed. Characters who the whole purpose of them ever being there in the first place. Well, not Captain Marvel. See, Captain Marvel is different from the other three you just mentioned, because Thomas and Martha Wayne and Uncle Ben, the whole purpose of them ever being in existence in the first place was so that they could die in order to make the main character, the protagonist of the story, who they are. The whole purpose of those characters is their death. Their lives are almost meaningless. They were very important people. They meant something important. They were good people, and they were taken from us. And now this has affected the character, so the character can, have a reason to go on. Because I don't want any more Uncle Ben's or Ma and Pa, uh, Waynes running around and getting shot. No, I don't want that anymore. So, gosh. Basically, it's a conversation about gun violence. It's a conversation about potentially mental health in both cases. It's a conversation about criminality. It's a question of what will you do if the people who you cherish the most are taken away from you at a young and impressionable age. What will that do to your psyche? That's very different from Jim Starlin just saying, nobody cares about Marvel. Which of course laughs at the comic gate, oh no, Captain Marvel, I don't like that she's Captain Marvel. Marvel is supposed to be Captain Marvel. Shut up, man. Shut up. No, but Jim Starlin himself is like, dude, nobody cared about this character. He's one of the few characters I was allowed to kill. I said, I want to kill a character. Let me, can I kill Captain Marvel? And they're like, yeah, nobody cares about him. He's like, well, can I kill this person? Can I kill that person? I don't remember who those names were, but it's like, no, no. Well, actually, no, I never knew what those names were. He's literally telling me, no. They kept on saying no to all these other characters. And I was like, wow. But like he was giving me so much information, I got to meet up with him again so I can ask him, which characters were you trying to kill? But or somebody else meets him, ask him, and then follow up with me, be like, what he said was, anyhow. Um, yeah, so I don't think that anybody else really matters. And when you think about it, to bring up D. McElroy's point, the same thing goes for Thunderbird. The whole purpose of him being created was so that he could be killed. You know. Um, let's see. Let's see. Wolverine's going to be younger the next 23. And then I see a Farouk. Damn. Oh, I missed seeing Farouk from WWE a couple days ago. That's one of the people I actually have met him before, but I never got the chance to sit and actually talk to him. I met him at WWE Live one year when it was in New York City. They changed it to the WWE The World. It's WWE Live. Bite me. Anyway, that was in Times Square. I got to meet him and Bradshaw there when they were both part of the APA, but I had a chance to actually go and sit down and talk with him, and I didn't. I just did whatever. I was just exhausted from everything I was doing, and I didn't take the opportunity to go. Everybody in the family was sick, so I would have wound up leaving my wife home with at least one sick kid while I took the healthy one, and that wouldn't have been good for either of them. So yeah, I had to take care of the family. That sucks, but it is what it is. Sucks taking care of your family. Let's see. Do you think Gabriel Shepard? Possibly. I don't know. Honestly, I think that there are too many storylines going on right now that are separating the mutants everywhere. This brings me up to a really interesting point, though, that I would like to make is that you're seeing a lot of characters being used and reused and overused a lot in here. So excuse me, you see Wolverine doing a stalking mission in X-Men, but he's also on a mission for X-Force, and who knows what else he's doing. You see X-23 in Fallen Angels, and she's also in the X-Men book, right? You see all these other characters being used and reused and overused in the comic books right now. What about all the characters that aren't being used? Are you telling me you don't have a use for a lot of these other characters out there? What's Maggot doing right now? I've heard neither hide nor hair of him. You know what I'm saying? Like what's going on? We can't find a reason to use him. So at the end of the day, I don't know if all these characters will be used, but what I'm interested in is having the characters that we've got used. Interested in seeing more characters actually being used. All these X-Men books, and we're just using the main cast. We could do a lot better than that. Tell me I'm wrong. That's all I want to hear. Professor Bill, you're wrong, but I don't think anybody's going to say that, honestly, because all these books, man, come on. So maybe he'll come back. Honestly, I hope that they don't, because they've already all got like radically different things happening in all these books. The X-Men are clones now, especially since Disney owns Star Wars and X-Men. I guess in a way. Yes, Ron Simmons. I did say Ron Simmons, right? I've met Ron Simmons before. Yes, I have. Yeah, actually, I just explained the story. Anyway, but he was just at a toy fair recently, right here in Mississauga, and I missed. Yeah, like I said, I missed being able to get him. They only have hundreds of mutants. Well, yeah, because these are mutants that don't have priority, and they're taking their time resurrecting them. And one of the main reasons why they're taking their time resurrecting him is because they and you know what, I'm just going to let this comment speak for itself because facts. Um, what do you call it? They're taking their time resurrecting everybody because remember, Moira doesn't want any of the psychic mutants, the precognition, the precogs coming back, the ones who could see into the future. She doesn't want any of them coming back because then all of a sudden it's like, wait a second, we lose every time? Yeah, that's not cool, man. That's not even cool. So, yeah. Plus, Destiny already saw a bunch of these different lifetimes, right? So if she comes, that's the main one. If she comes back by hook or by crook, that's not even going to be a monkey wrench. That's going to be like a King Kong wrench, just dropped on top of the entire building of those cogs and the machines. Like, dude, that's going to be a wicked situation there. Anyway, yeah, no Nightcrawler in the book. Like, what's up with that? And yes, he is one of the most popular. Anyway, guys, Mom and Pa Kent returning dying in the context of finale of Doomsday Clock. I should actually show it. Bendis announced on his Twitter he'll be using them in a response issue to Clark outing himself. Well, yeah, they never died. When did they die? Unless when I stopped reading Bendis, he decided to kill them because they were both still alive when Tomasi and everybody else was writing for Superman. So I don't remember them being dead. But yeah, I don't know. I honestly I just don't care. Like, I see the old "Hey kids" comics stuff every so often when I see somebody selling a spinner rack on top of like "Hey kids" comics. It's like awesome. Cool, man. This must mean me because it appeals to me. I'm your target audience. When when Bendis makes his announcements, though, I literally just get like this sinking feeling in my heart, like, dude, you're trying to get people excited over things that I'm sorry, most people, the majority of people, just aren't excited over. And you can look at all the reviews that are still doing your reviews, but a lot of us who don't like your stuff, but who are being respectful to you, have decided to just drop your comics because we don't want to insult Bendis. We don't. You know what I'm saying? We just don't want to be that guy or those people, those individuals. So we just stop reviewing them. So at this point now, the only things that you're going to get, you're not going to get constructive criticism on the reviews of his books. You're going to get two kind of people: the people who slavishly love his work, which is responsible and fair, whatever it is, what it is. But you're also going to get a bunch of yes men in there also, which is frustrating. But two, you're also going to get just the comic skaters who are the worst of the worst, insulting, demeaning guys who, yeah, they're just gonna, talk about SJW this, SJW that, or I don't really have anything but talking points to talk about. You're not going to get the kind of reviews that you need, which are the constructive criticism reviews. So we've already shown, and Shooter has already talked about, nobody will edit Bendis. No one will do it. Nobody has the gumption to do that because apparently he won't accept it, and he'll look at you. It seems that this is what people are arguing. This is just what I'm hearing. I've never met the man. They're arguing that he doesn't take kindly to it at all. And at the end of the day, Didio is just going to support everything that he does because he's in this bubble where he sees everything that Bendis touches is gold. He's not paying attention to the fact that a lot less people are buying the book, less people are reviewing the book, like the sales are dropping. It is what it is. And he's just like, I can't admit that I'm wrong. And people wonder why I say that the Snyder Cut won't come out. If Didio refuses to acknowledge that he was wrong, you think that Warner Brothers is going to admit that they were wrong by taking Zack off of the movie, off of Justice League? I don't think there's going to be a Snyder Cut. Anyway, I'm deviating away from all this stuff. Yes, he kind of does seem like a diva, doesn't he? That's not necessarily a bad thing, but even divas can take advice, can take criticism, and there is nobody. There are very few fans, and there are apparently no editors actually criticizing his work. So he sees himself as, untouchable. The only people saying bad things about me are comic skaters, and you never do what comic skaters do. Well, he's right there, but you got to look at the the bigger picture. There are lies, there are damn lies, and then there's statistics. Look at why those statistics are what they are. Boom. Oh yeah. Kurt will be getting a giant size X-Men one shot. Cool. I'm down for that. So anyway, yeah, I'm done. I think I'm definitely done. What is this? I've heard that Fallen Angels has been retconned out of Dawn of X. What? Random Discord comments. There's no point in even commenting on that though if there is no. So now this winds up giving credence to something else. Anyway, guys, since I got a bunch of X-Men fans in here, listen, I believe that I put out this thing that I want to have an actual lawyerly debate. I will preside over this argument. I will be the judge of this argument of, was Cyclops right? And everything that's involved in there. Somebody went and commented on the thing. What do you mean was Cyclops right? What does that mean? Like, this conversation clearly does not concern you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have no idea. You've never read X-Men before, so, or at least you haven't read anything within the past 5 years, at the very least, if not longer. So, sorry, brother. I'm incapable of helping you at this situation. I'm not going to sit here and type forever to explain to one person. At the end of the day, was Cyclops right? All of us X-Men fans know that term, and either you say yes, he was, or no, he wasn't. I think I've got somebody who will argue against that Cyclops was not right. We don't have to prove he was wrong. We just have to prove that he wasn't right. Now I need somebody who can bring the facts, who can bring the fire, but respectfully, and argue that Cyclops was in fact right. The way that this is going to work is I want a whole bunch of, I want, to collaborate between two people, somebody arguing the defense, somebody arguing the prosecution. Was Cyclops right? Two people. I'll determine them by actually talking to the individuals, and we'll see, what you got. Like, how effectively can you communicate and argue your point? And then we'll actually record something. We're not going to do it live. We'll record something, so this way I can edit out any blunders or, I lost my train of thought or whatever. So this way it actually looks like a good video, but we'll actually argue the point. I think it'd be a really fun topic to talk about. So yeah, like I said, I believe I've got a prosecution that Cyclops was in fact not right. Need somebody who can argue that they are right. And you guys will send me the evidence We will share the evidence with each other, and then we'll come in. We're going to have opening statements. We're going to have the so this part will actually be the discovery, but then we'll have opening statements. We'll actually argue our case. Um, what do you call it? I don't know exactly how we'll call witnesses, but we'll see what we can do about that. You could call like a certain character into, like, oh, this character did such and such, so these will be your witnesses and whatnot. Cool. And then we'll make our closing arguments, and then I will preside over the case. I will make my final judgment, and then boom. So, like, if you love the character or love to hate the character, here's a great opportunity to do this. This is going to be the first in a series. I want to do a whole bunch of these. But boom, that's what I want to do. And then what do you call it? If you just want to argue that as a fan, awesome. If you've got a channel, a YouTube channel or a website or something like that that you want to advertise, this is the perfect way to do it, because I will absolutely give multiple plugs while we're doing this. So if there's a charity that you want to promote, whatever it is, you let me know. Get you in, as long as I'm accepting, like your argument is sound and it sounds like you can actually defend yourself or defend your argument specifically, boom, I'm done. No personal attacks, not cool. This is not that kind of a courtroom. But that's the thing I want to do. Was Cyclops right? And if you can either argue either one side or the other, hit me up, man. My email that I use for Comic Book University is right there. Cavemansmuse@gmail.com. So by all means, hit me up. Let's do it. Let's do it. Wilfredo, man, I'd love to have you on. I'd love to have you on. Then we can get started, like, I don't know, tomorrow night maybe. But anyway, so boom, we good. I think we're good. Oh, and yeah, that's actually in the chat. Let me actually, oops, let me throw. Cyclops is right after House of M. Cool. Let's do it. Let's do it. But for right now, boom, cavemansmuse@gmail.com. Hit me up there. Like, "Yeah, guys, that's a good looking guy, man. That's a good looking guy." I got a shield just like that over here. Anyway, yeah, hit me up. Hit me up there. Make your argument. Make me a 2-minute video. I've already got two people, or well, one person who's actually made the video so far. Make an approximately 2-minute video. If you got a 5-minute video, one, you can't follow instructions. Two, I'm not watching a 5-minute video, because I'm expecting to get a lot, like a swath of these videos coming in. But if you can confine yourself to a 2-minute argument and make your opening statements, why Cyclops was right or why Cyclops was wrong, please do that. Make a little video, make it unlisted if you want, whatever you want, and then send me a link to that video. If you make it private, I won't be able to see it. You can make it unlisted and then only people with the link can see it, or just make it public and then send me the link, whatever. And then I will check out your video and I will see, how do you defend your argument. And if you do a good job and you're bringing facts and whatnot, boom, you're in. You're in. I only need one more person. I've got one person who seems committed. I only need one more person. So, and this person can argue either side they're claiming, and I think they can. So, if you want to argue one side or the other, hit me up. We'll see what's up. So, boom. What else? I try, fam. Huge con Brainiac 5. Preparing a 45 play. Wow. I'll prepare a 45-page complaints with footnotes, tables, contents, rules of law, etc. Sure. But all I need to see is a 2-minute video where you're making your opening statement. If you wind up failing, look at that. Just some guy, same guy. Woo! Woo! Anyway, so uh would you ask that to Bendis's face how he takes editorial feedback? Dude, in a heartbeat. You don't understand, because I'm not going to be a dick about it. If he chooses to take it as me being a dick, Corey, then that's on him. But yes, I would 100% say, dude, do you have editors? I know that you have, it lists editors, but do you actually have editors? Yes? Cool. How do you take constructive criticism? Do you get constructive criticism? Does anybody ever says this is probably not what fans are looking for? Like, how exactly, does this work? I would love to get his statements. You know what I'm saying? I believe that Comics Bueller. I forget. Bueller on Comics, his Coffee and Comics thing. I forget his comic book channel, but I think everybody knows the guy's name. Comics with Bueller, I think it is. Anyway, he actually lives like practically right next door to Bendis, and he's going to have him on, or he's already had him on, but he's going to have him on pretty soon. Hit up Bueller. Ask him to ask him. You know, saying if they're going to do that interview, have him ask Bendis, "Hey man, what's up?" Because I want to know. I don't need to be the guy who breaks that scoop. The guy lives right next door to him. What am I going to do? I'm going to fly out there, just try and get him to answer that question. Ask the question. Ask a hard hitting question, if that's even hard hitting. You know what I'm saying? But like, just genuinely, no, not Ferris Bueller. Don't. Anyway, what do you call it? Have ask him to ask that question. But anyway, so that's what I'm looking forward to. Um, yes, so try and do that. Anyway, I am out. I am totally out of here. I'm gonna boogie, and I'll talk to you guys later. I've got Thor 1. Let me see what Thor 1 by. Let me see my notifications on Twitter. Come on, fool. Let's go, fool. Boom, boom, boom. Nope, that's not what I'm looking for. Get over here. Boom. Okay, we've got 43 votes. Still 16 hours left, but for right now, 27.9% for Immortal Hulk number 30, but 72.1% people are more excited for Thor number 2. Okay, boom, there we go. So I will be doing that, and I will talk to you guys because I'm out. All right, Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.